All right, ladies and gentlemen. Since last we saw each other, there's been a bit of a political shift on our home continent. The Netherlands decided to go ballistic and conquered through a bunch of the Congo's cities, namely these three: Mbuila, Mbanza Mbata, and Mbanza Congo, sort of forcing the Congo to retreat to this little border here, which is perilously close to my own cities. But fortunately, things have been going well. I took the precaution of building a fort right on the border with Netherlands so that I could more effectively defend myself. And I am a little bit more ahead in terms of units. I have musketmen, while the Netherlands, ostensibly, um, would only have coursers and swordsmen. Which is fine. It's a little bit of a scary situation since they could attack us, but we are a good bit ahead in science. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to keep that lead going. I'm going to upgrade this musketman to a digger, a unique Australian unit. Yes, got it. Swanky little model, rolled up sleeves, the nice cool hat. And since I am planning on keeping this to the coast, I'm hoping that that'll work to my advantage. I've built a couple of wonders, sort of to help myself along. As I mentioned earlier, I built the Forbidden City to get that wildcard policy slot. And since then, I've just been kind of growing my capital city. It's been a little slow with Canberra, just because, you know, there aren't very many opportunities for me to develop food production here. Although now that the city has grown, it has started picking up a bit. And so, kind of in the spirit of that, I'm going to make myself a builder to pick up the crabs and the wheat. Now, Perth has been an absolute powerhouse. 87 science, a turd undoubtedly carrying us through this. I've also picked up a military encampment here, and actually in Sydney as well. I'm considering whether or not to do it in Hobart. I probably will end up doing that, sort of putting it right here in between our commercial district, which is what all of these buildings are, and our campus district, just in case the Netherlands decides to up their aggression again and conquer through the Congo. But in the meantime, I've been slowly growing my cities, as I said when I last left you, just bit by bit, taking baby steps, making sure that everything is ready for rapid expansion later in the game. Now, as you can see, I have some districts that I can be building, and you might be wondering to yourself, well, why haven't you built more districts? That is because I am one turn away from getting chemistry, which is going to put us on the path to unlocking rocketry as soon as we discover radio. And so I'm trying to save some space in my cities for that. And in preparation of that, I have been sort of trying to build up greater and greater production. Now, I would like to point something out. You might have noticed above Hobart this tiny little red circle with what looks like a lightning bolt. That is an indication that Hobart isn't getting enough power. It's not getting enough electricity. And that's because currently we're not producing any. However, I have started building a dam in Hobart, and to supplement that, I'm working on building a hydroelectric dam which provides 6 power from renewable water sources. So hopefully that's going to help us keep, our production level going and help us sort of produce more money, more science, because the stock exchange does require power to be most effective. So that is sort of where we are right now. I am, in terms of our civics, I am aiming for urbanization, because urbanization will grant us military research, which means military academies, seaports, and Renaissance walls generate +2 science. It's a small boost relative to where we are now, but it is going to help us just eke out that little extra edge. You might have noticed our science per turn has grown significantly, and that is because of the government policies we're using. We are sticking with the plus 100% campus district adjacency bonuses, but I'm also using rationalism, which gives us extra science from buildings and campuses based on certain criteria. So specifically, it gives us plus 50% if our population is 10 or higher, and plus another 50%, or an alternative 50%, if our district has at least plus 5, I believe, adjacency bonus, which should be pretty easy given natural philosophy. So there's a nice little bit of synergy that's helping us with a little boost to our science output. I've also been trying to clear this little island because I am looking to expand into it with new settlers. Maybe plop one down right here by all this silver and put another one over here just to create a little throughway potentially. Other than that, I have met a whole lot of new civilizations. I've met Japan, the Zulu, which I mentioned last time, and the Inca. So as we can see, this continent is completely filled up, just about, so there won't be any space for us to settle there, which is why I'm hoping to nab this little island before Japan or the Inca wisen up and send their own settlers that way. In order to further sort of defend myself against Netherland aggression, I will end up settling a city somewhere in here, likely on this tile, maybe on this tile, yeah. Just to give myself another little buffer in case they decide to go to war, and also prevent them from getting this coal resource because they have plenty of niter, but I don't see, well, I guess there's a source of coal over there. So, yeah. So far, with my little city up here, the Toowoomba, I have been making sure that it is as defended as can be, because it does house one of our more valuable universities, the plus 10 science as a sort of base yield. And if we take a look at our cities, our university is providing plus 11 science, our library is providing plus 5. So that's quite a significant bonus. And so I want to make sure that the city is safe, so that it continues to provide that science output, which does make for a substantial portion, right? 34.6. It does make for a substantial portion over overall income. We are still wildly ahead of Cleopatra. Now, the only thing that we do need to worry about is if we go over here to the diplomacy section to view the diplomatic victory, Christina of Sweden, our neighbors to the far south, are quite a bit ahead, right? They have 5 out of 20 necessary diplomatic victory points, while we only have 3. Diplomatic victories are really kind of annoying at this point, and so what we are going to need to do is ramp up pretty severely, which we're already going pretty quickly, so I'm hoping that we can sort of cut them off at the pass, grab a couple of diplomatic victory points for ourselves, and keep pushing through. Okay. If you look also up in the top right, oh, thank you very much. If you look up in the top right, you can see that we have little blue icons next to a bunch of the leaders. That means we are currently in an active friendship with them. We are pretty far ahead in science, and so our units are better, but we still don't want to tempt fate. And so it's better to befriend them and be on nice terms. Okay, so we have just discovered chemistry, which is fantastic news, frankly, because that means we are going to be providing plus 8 science per turn to any city that has the research lab. And remember, that's going to be made even higher from our rationalism civic. So let's go ahead, take a look at what technologies we have available so far. We have chemistry, but I think for now I am going to go with steel to get that Eiffel Tower. Great people. Oh wow, 2 all at once. Let's recruit the great engineer, which will allow us to build wonders a little faster, and let's also recruit our great scientist. You can never have enough civic boosts. We've already discovered chemistry, so unfortunately that is of little use to us. Yes. As you can see, I've been making sure to make myself the suzerain of Hattusa, the only scientific city-state. What this means is I get a whole bunch of science bonuses. With city-states, at different levels of envoys, you get different bonuses to your civilization, and if you become suzerain, you get even more. So basically, with 1 envoy, plus 2 science in capital, with 3 envoys, plus 2 science in every library, and with 6, plus 2 science in every university, and then if you are the suzerain of Hattusa, it provides you with 2 of each strategic resource per turn that you have revealed but not yet improved. Which is quite nice because that allows us to have, if you look up at the tops of the screen here, it allows us to have near full stockpiles of just about every strategic resource because we don't actually need to have a copy in order to get the per turn gain from it. We have also discovered Geneva, and so with 4 envoys on me right now, what we are going to do is actually just start stacking those bonuses. I do not believe that we have become its suzerain. Actually, I don't even know where it is, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But it's by Cleopatra, so it's gotta be here. So, there we go, Geneva. What we will need to do is try to complete its quest, which is to train a ranger, which I am pretty sure that I can just buy a ranger at this point. I have a whole lot of money. Ranger, purchase. Shame, still not a suzerain, but 5 is good, because that went and increased our output just a little bit. If we use Toowoomba as control, we can check it out. Oh, I guess maybe not. Alright. Perhaps I do need to be suzerain after all. But yeah, so far things are going good. I will probably check back in once I have either discovered rocketry or built a spaceport. And we can start in earnest winning our scientific victory.